she gets sent back, no alimony, no child support, no assets, just the clothes she got on her damn back.
What up, this is Solo Traveler ORD, back with another video review. Of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, hit that bell while you are here. So with this video review, I'm gonna go over a video from Derwin McPherson. He actually released a video recently talking about what Trump did with USCIS, USCIS that is, which is immigration, which you use for getting a spouse or for visas or anything what you could think of over to the United States. And he actually made a change on August 1st. He actually rewritten or at least made some changes to the actual policy. And this policy, there's some good and bad to it. For those of us that actually travel and for those of us who actually have spouses in other countries. In so many words, what he did was he made it a bit harder, more stringent for them to come over. However, he also made it so that that if they do mess up, that it's easier to get them out of here. So the question comes down to, is Trump really for the passport bros? Yeah, you gotta ask that question. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video and see what up.
Yo, the very system they use to convince passport bros that it's a bad idea to bring their significant other into the United States just handed them the ultimate weapon. The passport bros just receive an insane advantage, which means they will win in every single dating market on the planet. For decades, you had to hide your foreign wife from the West, afraid she'd get infected by feminism the moment you brought her into America. But as of August the 1st, that fear is dead because now the US government has quietly activated something I call the extradite filter, and it changes everything. And I'm about to break this down in this video right now. Let me just show you why passport bros just got overpowered and how anyone who can get a passport can benefit from this movement. Guys, most men don't understand what just happened. There was a huge policy update by Donald Trump, and it wasn't just about immigration. It was about leverage. Because for the first time in decades, the girl you bring back to the United States can't just flip the switch, get westernized, and walk off with half of your life. As of August 1st, 2025, she either plays her role or her ass gonna get deported.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest gripe that men have. The biggest fear of bringing a woman over here, spending the thousands of dollars for her to come here, for her to change up, and to also benefit from the actual divorce laws that are in the States. Because what goes on is that no matter where, let's say for example, if you get married in another country and you move to, let's say, England, well, after 6 months, you guys are residents of that country and you have to abide by that law, by their laws, and basically you will abide by the rules when it comes down to divorce and things like that. Same thing within the United States. It's the same way. Yeah, if you establish residency there, now whatever laws it is on the books, when it comes down to divorce, you have to adhere to those laws. So yes, this is why a lot of brothers are having issues or don't even want to bring women back here, not only because of the divorce laws, because they are a fear of that woman being tainted by the West, of the culture and so forth.
No one is talking about this yet. So let me just break down exactly what just dropped and why I call it the extradite filter. On August 1st, 2025, the US Citizenship and Immigration Services dropped a quiet bomb. A new policy update now makes one thing clear. Marrying a US citizen no longer guarantees permanent residency. Let me say that again. Marriage no longer means protection. That's the biggest buff passport bros have ever seen. But why is the big question everyone wants to know right now. And the answer? Before this, women could finesse the system. That's right, guys. Women were coming over here, exploiting us and bailing.
Well, I gotta stop them there. Not only women were doing it, but it was a small number. This small number, like when it came down to women leaving men, it is so much smaller than it is for men leaving women in the United States. So you had a lot of the green card bros that were coming to the States, especially Jamaicans, Nigerians, all them dudes finessing these women. And hey, after what, 2-3 years, whatever, once the visa, everything was done with, and they're able to filed to be a citizen, oh, that was it. They will lead them. They will lead the women, So this was happening more so with them than it is with passport bros. I may want to correct them for that, because basically men or, relationships, men who marry foreign women that come to the United States, they're only at a 20% divorce rate compared to 55, 60%, what it is now. Well, it might be at 60% now in the States if you marry American to American. So that's kind of like what we're looking at.
They'd act submissive overseas, secure the ring, fly back to America, and flip the script. Once they got here, it wasn't long before they became westernized, filed for divorce, collected benefits, and there was nothing you can do about it. Why do you think passport bros who've been in the game before the movement even started would always tell newbies to never bring their women to America? Now, that game is over. The new rules demand evidence, interviews, proof, and they can deport her even after approval if they find anything off. If your relationship don't appear to be genuine and she over here changing up on you, causing stress in your life, you think that doesn't put pressure on her behavior? Think again, my friend. Every attitude, every act of disrespect, every time she think about becoming independent and divorcing you now sounds like the dumbest decision she could ever make in her life. She used to be protected. She used to wild out, act brand new, pick up TikTok talking points, cheating on you, threaten to divorce. And if you say anything, your life got destroyed.
I like this. This is actually really good because a lot of other countries, they adopted this. This is how they've been. If a woman or foreign person comes into their country, marry one of their foreign citizens, and if they were to get a divorce, they have to be basically get shipped back to whatever country they came from. They are not allowed to stay in that country. I don't understand why the United States have it that they are protected and they can still stay, which is really crazy. Makes no sense. When no other country in the world follows those rules, but we're the only one that does that and harbor people that shouldn't be here. That's just me. Someone who actually try to finesse the system, hurt your actual citizen here in the States, and you're gonna allow them to stay here? Like, that makes no sense, but hey, whatever.
Now, that visa is your accountability tool. She's not a citizen, she's on a contract. And every step she takes, every move she makes, she knows someone's watching. Because under this new rule, it doesn't matter if the marriage is approved. If fraud is found after the fact, even emotional manipulation or hidden intentions, she could still be deported. That means U.S. soil is not a free pass anymore. It's probation. And that's how it should be, because men are tired of being ruined by these unruly women. She gets sent back, no alimony, no child support, no assets, just the clothes she got on her damn back. And that changes everything. Fellas, y'all gotta appreciate this law, because a lot of the women overseas started changing. TikTok, Instagram, passport privilege, they were scamming men into bringing them into the US and then finessing them later. Now some of y'all don't even know what it looks like to deal with a woman with a westernized mentality. You probably haven't run into a lot of women these days who have been feminized. So let me give you a glimpse of how they act over here.
So hey, make sure you guys go ahead and check out the rest of the video that he has on his channel. I'm gonna put the link at the bottom in the description, so you guys go ahead and check him out, support him, and so forth, because this is a great video that he released. But one other thing I want to say about this is that, brothers, you got to be careful. One of the biggest things is vetting these women, because here's the thing: the world has become to be very, very close. We're all global. We're all able to see what's going on in any other country. All you have to do is search for it. So basically, these women in all these other countries, they have access to TikTok, they have access to Facebook, Instagram, all these social media connections. So they're able to see everything that's going on. So like I said, everything is a lot smaller. The world is not as what it used to be. So you have to do your due diligence and make sure that this person that you're actually vetting isn't corrupted by this media that goes on in the West, especially in the United States. But let's go ahead and jump into, I want to show you guys the policy updates and what that mean, what was updated. So I actually did some research on it just to make sure to see what all changed and how does it benefit us who love to travel or may have women in the States with us and so forth. So I had to go ahead and do my investigation, make sure this was all good. So I checked over here in chat, and this is what it said. You know, so basically, you know, just to summarize some of the things that's actually in here, of course, you guys could look this up. It says basically a stricter vetting of family-based green card petition. So many words that they're going to make sure that everything lines up, your documentation, pictures. You have people who actually vet and say that they agree that you guys got married, that this is a bona fide marriage. So there's just certain things like that. You know, people could attest to that. Also, you have greater risk of immediate denials. So they can actually deny your petition without a reasonable cause or so. So that's something you got to watch out for. You know, and heightened focus on marriage-based fraud. So of course they're going to make sure that there is no, you know, marriage green card fraud that's going on. But let's go ahead and jump down to the part of if she's actually already here, how you benefit from this. So I actually asked the question, what if she's actually on a green card and she's been living here for several years, but she decides to divorce you? Well, here's some of the things that it says. Although immediate status impact, the divorce does not automatically take away the green card. However, what it does is it gives them an opportunity to reopen the case and to investigate. Or there's also lines, there's actually a line, I forgot what it is for USCIS. There's actually a fraud link that you can actually go to and report her if you feel as though fraud took place. But here's the thing, some of the things that goes on right here is that, you know, it says right here what the August 1st policy changes. It says before August 1st, 2025, most 10-year green card holders post-divorce were left alone unless clear fraud emerged. Well, after August 1st, it says officers have explicit directions to flag cases where a marriage-based LPR divorce within a few years, more aggressively review for fraud indicators, coordinate with ICE if status revocation might be warranted. So basically, so many words, they no longer have to go to a judge. They can actually just, you know, request a removal, and there you go, she's gone. So no longer will you have to go through a long process to make sure that, you know, they will not go through a long process while she sits here for like another 3 years while you guys are trying to, you know, get rid of her if you know that, you know, she's basically committed fraud. In so many words, once the officer finds it out and he makes a decision, she's gone. That's it. So no more of those, no more of the red tape that was in there in the past. So that's the benefits that's going on here for, you know, passport bros that bring women back to the States. So now you have the opportunity that if she does act up, if you feel as though that she's not right and you got to file for divorce, well, you can actually report her and she could be gone. So that's the benefit. You know, the question, like I said, posed to is Trump for passport bros? Well, I'm undecided because basically this is something for American people. And I think that this is something good for American men who may fall victim to fraud, and, you know, you never know what could happen. But of course, like I said, the front part of it, the process becomes to be a bit harder. So, but let me know what you guys think about the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out.